Professor Glaser, should I let my child or teenager be vaccinated?
I understand completely that we want for our children much better than we want for ourselves, and what we would risk for ourselves, we won't for our children. And this is very realistic. And I think it's very difficult to make a decision to subject one's child to a vaccine where, although we think it's safe, there has been rumours about infertility. It is the vaccines are based on RNA or DNA. So all these things have to go through a parent's mind about subjecting their children to what's going to happen to their son or daughter in 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, or even 5 years. And I think all the doctors and scientists must understand that. However, there are great advantages which are obvious to inoculate, that vaccinate the 12 or 16-year-olds, which they are recommending in that age group vaccination to start. One doesn't want one's son or daughter to get the disease and come home and lose the schooling from school, because although they may not be ill, they will have to be in isolation, and because that's the system adopted, this this isolating for 10 days with a positive test. So one doesn't particularly want to interrupt any more than we have had one's son or daughter's education. Secondly, they may even get the disease, and there have been cases where young children, even younger than 12 to 16, have been ill with COVID. And thirdly, the overall philosophy of everybody in the community being vaccinated to cause herd immunity, which has been adopted. However, what are the real side effects and dangers for the son and daughter? I've mentioned the late effects we don't know. Probably we won't know for decades if there are any late effects. But new technologies have been used, and they do, and they're all based on genetic direction. So RNA and DNA are implicated in all the vaccines. And there is evidence, and the school of thought which will say don't do this is those who have observed inflammation of the heart, which myocarditis or endocarditis, the lining of the heart or the muscle of the heart becoming inflamed. Now, we don't know the exact number of cases that will occur if this group of children, 12 to 16 and teenagers, are vaccinated. Now, if the incidence becomes significant, then of course this vaccination must stop. At the moment, it seems very low. And I think on balance, because of the philosophy of the whole country, and perhaps we can turn it back to these anti-vaxxers who think they've even at one end of the spectrum that they're injecting into them some listening particles or something, those exaggerated views. But if we follow the world view of mass vaccination to control the pandemic and to obtain herd immunity, then we should vaccinate. So I think on balance, the answer is yes. But should evidence come that endocarditis, myocarditis, heart inflammation, or any other complication occurs in any significant numbers at all, then the answer is no. Thank you for listening. I hope you found this interesting, and if you did, please subscribe.